listening to Mix Off Air with Duffy Moon, Amber Kaye, Camper Kyle, and Kelsey Laurenz.
Yeah.
Well, not Duffy. He's not here.
Right. Yeah, he's missing right now. Well, not missing. He's just not here.
Which I don't think he would have any input on this anyways.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Would Kyle?
Would I?
Probably. Kyle always has input.
Yeah, I do.
Whether he knows what he's talking about or not.
That factual.
And it's fact, man. It's fact. If I say it, it's fact.
Never claimed that.
Here we go.
Never claimed that.
So my daughter, at their school, it's homecoming week. And so every day they dress up like something different, right?
I do have an opinion.
Oh, you do have an
That actually
opinion.
really
She hasn't
hurt my
even
hand.
told the story.
I know, I'm kidding. Sorry, continue.
Okay, so one of the days was just like your favorite meme day. And so she said, me and some friends, we're going to dress like VSCO Girls.
VSCO.
What's VSCO?
Do y'all know what VSCO Girls are? I didn't. Do you know?
I just saw an article about it, though.
I was like, is this age, like, that's why I don't know. And so she was describing it to me. And then today I'm scrolling through BuzzFeed and it has like, all the things a VSCO girl needs.
That's the same one that I saw.
Okay. And so I was like, what in the world? And so I looked it up. And so I will tell y'all what it is. Now,
You just look like normal people.
So Kyle's Googling. So this is basically me in high school when I got done with practice.
Oh.
It's like what it looks like to me, or like when I would go after the gym. And so what it is a VSCO girl. So it's named after the photo editing app VSCO, which it's VSCO.
And
it's like Visual Supply something. I don't know. So that's where it got started. But now it has nothing to do with the app anymore. But that's what they call them, are VSCO girls. So they wear oversized t-shirts or a sweatshirt with short shorts, so you don't actually see the shorts. It's usually athletic shorts, so you don't see the shorts under the shirt.
I call that Texas, but
I called that getting done working out. Like, they wear Vans, Crocs, or Birkenstocks. Like a shell necklace. Or they'll wear opposite of the large shirt. They'll wear a tube top and jean shorts. They have a hydro flask. And then they always have a hydro flask. So a water jug.
Is that really what they call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a flask, but I don't call it a hydro.
It's just a flask.
Yeah.
What's like a real flask or like a glass?
Like a flat. What do you mean?
Did you see the new bra one? And so you fill the bra with your booze, so then your boobs look bigger, but then as you drink it, it shrinks.
Wouldn't they get a little saggy, though, after you drink a lot? Right, it starts to sag?
I mean, your actual boobs
Deflated.
don't.
No, I'm just saying, like, the bra.
I don't know, Kyle.
You ruined it.
I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on.
Anyways, and then their favorite car is a Jeep. So, yeah. Urban Dictionary calls them Tumblr girls of 2019.
So these are like all my girlfriends, all my ex-girlfriends.
It is a specific type of person. That's for sure.
They also, most of their crop tops are from Brandy Melville.
Yep.
They also wear handmade friendship bracelets.
Whoa. Yep.
And I do not know how to say this. It's a type of backpack. It's Fjallraven.
That sounds right.
I don't know that one.
Fjallraven, and the A's have the little 2 dots above them.
Oh.
They carry reusable metal straws. They penny boards. They ride penny boards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
what is that?
I know what penny boards are.
Isn't that like a dream board where you like cut out? Or not like a dream board, but you cut out
they ride like
magazines?
a skate. It's like a skateboard.
No, so penny boards are like kind of these smaller plastic longboard looking skateboards. And I don't know if they make normal size penny boards, but all the penny boards that they had in high school were like the size of like half the size of a normal skateboard.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Itty
about?
bitty. Yeah. I was afraid I'd crush it. So I never rode it.
Just cracked in the middle. They usually have like very little makeup and like beachy wave hair. So it's like this really effortless style.
I think beach bum when I hear this.
Effort.
They say it's basically a rehash of the 2000s beach girl.
There you go.
Gosh. Which basically didn't end until like 2015, but
so yeah, and then all these other people are posting like how to be a VSCO girl or becoming a VSCO girl for a day. Yeah, and so then it turned into this. So I'm reading through all these different articles because some of this was sounding like my daughter. And so I was like, wait a minute. Like, I thought she always borrows my big T-shirts. And I was like, why does she wear that? Like,
Yeah.
They're so big.
Style.
Like, and they're big on me. You know, they're like men's T-shirts that I just would wear around the house with my short shorts. Like, when I'm just doing the housework or whatever. I didn't realize it's a thing. VSCO. Yeah. And so I thought that's what she was doing. But then it starts talking about some of the other stuff. Like, they have the vinyl stickers. She, for her birthday, just got like 200 of these vinyl stickers from Redbubble.
Wow.
And then she has a water bottle. And then she puts the stickers on the water bottle, which is something that they do, I guess. And she always has a scrunchie, which was me telling her she should use a scrunchie because she has really, really thick hair.
And it's healthy.
And yeah, and her hair, it's hard for her to get the hair ties around her hair enough because it's so thick and heavy and it falls. So I told her, and so like we got some like velvet type scrunchies, which was what was the picture out there. So I'm
You are a contributor.
I guess. But I'm like, this was me as a teenager. Like, that's just what you wore. Like, you're at practice and you're working out all the time and this is the stuff you throw on.
So my sister is a VSCO, or I don't know. She's so stylish, but she also has like the perfect little body to where she can put anything on.
Yeah, me
and
in
it
high
looks good.
school.
Yeah, no.
Me quite a while ago. But yeah, and then it says they're constantly taking pictures with Polaroids and disposable cameras. Well, yeah, when I was a teenager, we didn't have camera phones, so we had all the disposable cameras, and that's what we used.
That was the funnest time of my life.
Yeah, and so I'm like, this was literally a lot of this, other than that weird backpack and the skateboard. I used to hang out at the skate park, though. But, yeah, this... So I'm like, okay, what the heck? Well, then it starts getting racist, and this is where I started getting mad, because it says... This is a quote from, I'm not sure who they are. Their name is Pham, Pham. It says, when I made the video about being a VSCO girl with my friend who is white and thin, because they said they're all rich, white, and thin. I was white and thin in high school, but I was not rich. I got some comments saying I didn't look like a VSCO girl, but my friend did, even though we were doing the same things and wearing the same things. VSCO girls are, by large, white, thin, and have enough money to buy the various high-end items the trend includes. Even Brandy Melville is exclusionary by design. It carries only one size, and that size is usually small or extra small. I definitely do agree that people are being left out because they're not a certain ethnicity and don't look a certain way. Normally, when you're talking about a VSCO girl, it is a predominantly people who are white and very skinny, and they own all these big name brands, so typically it's associated with being rich. But I don't think it should be like that. Okay. I just had this conversation with my book club because most of them are of Mexican descent, and so they're talking about their culture. The book we were reading talked a lot about it was based in Havana and talked a lot about culture, and they're talking about culture, and I was like, I don't really have a strong culture because who knows who my ancestors were. My family's been here forever. It all just blended together. We don't have like a homeland or a country or anything. And I was always kind of jealous of people who did, because they were talking about traditions their families do. And I'm like, that's so nice. You know, I was like, the only cultural thing I can think of is that, like, I hear white girl a lot, you know, and in high school, like, my friends were all Hispanic. Well, then we got to, in middle school, then we got to junior high. And all of a sudden, a lot of the girls wanted to fight me, and I was bad because I was the white girl, and I'm like, I didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. And so then you come to trends like this, and it's like, well, there's a lot of trends that people can't take part in because they don't look a certain way. Like the whole twerking trend, they would make fun of the white girls when they tried that, you know? And like, if you didn't have a big butt, you couldn't be part of that trend. Or the Kardashian thing, you can't pose like that if you don't have that look. Like, that's what a trend is how something looks.
And it goes...
And it's all based on look. And so, because this trend happens to be a lot of white girls doing it, now it's bad.
Yeah. And I that makes sense. Or not makes sense, but, like, I get it.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. It was aggravating to me. Because no one said that they are, but then they said that they are, so now it's bad, you know?
Yeah.
See, I think... You do have a culture. It's just the problem is we haven't been taught exactly the culture that we live in. The culture that we live in is Western culture. And that's just a culture of a lot of cultures, really. It's
well, that's
kind
what I
of
was saying. It's a big blending, melting pot to where I don't have my family came from Ireland, and so this is a typical food we made. I was like, growing up, we made Mexican food or what we called Italian food, or, we didn't have we're just a big mixing pot.
And see, I actually, me personally, right, this is just me, but I've actually always liked that I couldn't just say, well, I'm from this. I always thought that, well, no, I am now my own individual, and it's great that I have I have family members who are German, and so they do kind of German stuff. I have family members from, most of my dad's side of the family, I think, came from Sweden.
Okay, well, see, you're one of the ones I'm talking about.
Right, but I don't know that. I don't know, but we don't have Swedish culture. We just had that somewhere in the bloodline.
I know exactly what I am.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is I don't care about my
Well, and
ancestors.
I guess it may be like once I had children and I wanted to have traditions at holidays and all of that. I don't have like a cult, it was just like, oh, let's go. And it didn't feel like a rich culture. It was like, oh, let's go to Hobby Lobby and buy Christmas ornaments. It was, there wasn't like this is what our family's done for generations, or this is why we do certain things, or this is where this came from. It's like we lost a lot of the, I guess, like the meat of a culture, like the reason and the tradition and the history of it. Like we've lost a lot of that because of all of the blending and it getting, gotten watered down.
Well, there was also, and this is kind of a theory. It shows up it doesn't show up, it shows up in some studies done on baby boomers. And it was the fact that after the Greatest Generation, which was the World War II soldiers, that generation, right? Them and the spouses. And I'm not saying just the soldiers, I'm saying that age range, right? They came back and they had a lot of kids, right? Because they were like, we survived the war and let's just make another population, right? And so they had a bunch of kids. Those were the baby boomers. And so the theory goes that the baby...
I thought it wasn't like, let's make a bunch of people. It was like, I've been gone for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely that.
And then 9 months later.
Right. I've been gone a long time. And then,
baby boomer.
It was definitely more of that. But so the baby... And so the Greatest Generation... I think what happened, and they didn't do this on purpose, but what happened is the theory goes that the Greatest Generation didn't do such a great job of sharing the values and the traditions that they've had to the baby boomers, because they kind of took it for granted, not in the negative way. They assumed that was part of their life, and so they didn't have to teach it. And so the baby boomers grew up not having a lot of that structure, and then their kids, it was free pickings. Like no one really had an idea what culture was. Like everyone was just do your own thing, be your own self. The hippie movement came out of that.
But I don't mean that. I mean like old culture, because like I know my great grandma was here in the 1800s. Like she saw the first like cars, like they did horse and buggy. Cool. Her mom was here, so that's my great grandma. Yeah. And from then on, like my people came over here so long ago that I don't even know when it was.
Right.
And because I've got pictures of family and they're here, they're old black and white pictures, and they're already here. And so I don't know what country they came from. I don't know what they did, so that kind of really genuine, authentic, from the source culture. Yeah. And I read about all these other ones. Yeah. And they have all these cool traditions and cultures. And I'm like, let's, go to Walmart and get a Halloween costume.
Yeah, but see, that gives you the freedom to make your own traditions, to start your own line.
I would have the freedom to do that anyways. Sure, no, if you don't want to. I like that other cultures
absolutely
have something that stands out that strong. And they can go with it or not, but I like that history behind it.
Yeah, I think that's always a cool thing. I think the reason that my brain or my perception works differently is because I grew up. So I've always noticed this about me and some friends, is that I had the friends who grew up in one place and stayed there their whole life, and they had that kind of root system. Whereas I grew up I've moved like 9 different times growing up, right? I moved all over the place. I had so many different friends. I never had a chance to create roots. And so we had our traditions. They weren't really family traditions. They were just, this is what my mom and dad wanted to do for Christmas. And it wasn't necessarily that their parents did it or that their grandparents did it. It's just that they wanted to do it. And that's what kept us, that's what our, I guess, I don't know if culture is the right word, but that's kind of what our thing was. That's what our tradition was as well. We were all over the place. We got so many other different styles of America that we kind of just mashed it all together and made our own thing. And me personally, I enjoyed that. I don't know my ancestors, and I think they're great for getting my grandparents or whatever to America. It's a great thing they made it over here. Other than that, though, I just don't care enough to learn about them. And I don't think my great-great-great-grandkids would care about me unless, of course, I do something amazing like cure cancer, which I won't. So,
And I like all of the old stuff.
Sure,
Like I have my grandma's sister's charm bracelet from when she was a child. So that's over 100 years old.
Wow.
I've got my grandma's best friend's mother's necklace from the 1920s. So it's one of those long, like beaded ones.
Yeah.
And so she gives me a lot of like the antique stuff, and I know where it came from.
The origin,
Yeah. And so I don't know. I like all of that.
Yeah.
But that's what we were talking about. And I was just, we were talking about cultures, and I was like, I really, really, really appreciate other cultures.
Yeah.
And I hate the fact that when people see me, they just see, and I've got this, and maybe other people haven't, but, to say you're a white person is almost derogatory, and you don't even, like, even talking about this, I'm like, oh, great, I'm going to offend someone because I'm saying I'm a white girl. But, and it's like, I don't know what I am. I don't know. I could be Irish. I could be French. I could be South African. I could have some other, like Native American. Like, I don't know.
And see, that's to me, that is one of the best parts about America, is that you are free to not care about that. And I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't, right? But like, to me, like what's irritating you irritates me, is the fact that, you could look at someone for their skin color and judge their culture or their appreciation of someone else's culture or what culture they have. And it's like, no, man, just get to know them on a personal level, find out what they like, what they do, and then go from there. Like, because I'm, like I said, I don't want to offend anybody by saying this, but like, I could be bleach white and love some Jamaican culture, or vice versa. I could be from Jamaica and love Russian culture.
I love the idea of people having these strong cultures and coming from different areas. My stepdad is, so he was raised on a reservation. His dad was white and his mom was half Winnebago Indian, but she was raised as Native American, and so they lived on the reservation and everything. And so he's got pictures of like his grandparents in full headdress and all of that. I love culture, but I get this from people like, when this girl was saying that, it just hit a nerve, because we were talking about this at book club, like being, they're white, and it's like, well, there are some white people that are really annoying. But there are just people who are annoying, though. That's the thing. And I just don't like that. I automatically now, whenever I go around any other culture, I'm just assuming they don't like me because they've had bad experience with white people, or they assume I'm racist, And it's just like, I'm not. There's a lot of people I don't like. It's not like generalized into one culture.
I'm an equal opportunity disliker.
It's like, I dislike probably more people than I like, but it has nothing to do with their race.
Yeah, or culture. Well, I don't know. If there is a culture out there who really hated Star Wars, I wouldn't like it. I'm just going to say that right now. I wouldn't be a fan of that culture.
Yeah. But no, I saw this whole VSCO girl thing, and I was just like, they're so young, they don't realize they're just redoing what we already did.
Isn't that a trend? Not a trend. Isn't that a thing where
everything comes back?
Everything comes back.
All the guys were doing mullets last year, and
was that a thing?
The high school guys are growing out mullets.
Oh, and okay, hold on. Stop. Stop doing that.
So I was talking to one of them about what I had said to someone else, or I told my daughter, because she's like, "Why are they doing that?" And I told her, every generation needs something that makes them stand apart, that makes them feel unique. We all do it, and I was like, they've just picked a really bad thing. And so I was talking to one of the guys who had done that, who had a mullet, and I told him that's what I said. And then he, like, 30 minutes later, it's like, I'm thinking about cutting it, and it's cut. It's gone now.
There you go. Good.
I'm like, thank God.
Thank you.
Unless you're Billy Ray, I don't want to see it, man.
It's very hard to pull off.
It is.
I had a phase where I did all slick back, like a greaser look, but I have blonde hair. And so, but it was like I would super gel it, and then with my brush, everything went straight back. And it looked good for about a week.
I'm gonna guess it didn't.
And then I got compliments. From people who...
son, your hair looks good.
No, my mom was the most skeptical person, I think, of the haircut. She's like, all right, whatever, Kyle. And, no, this specific hairdo I have now, is a culmination of 20 years of trying to figure out how to deal with my colic. I've even tried a mullet.
Oh, I have
Didn't work.
messed up widow's peak. It's like on the it's not centered in my head.
Oh, yeah. Huh? That's interesting. Yeah. So is that a cowlick or is that...
It's a cowlick, but don't look at it.
Well, no,
that's so rude.
So why wouldn't you part it? Why wouldn't you part it on that area right there?
I do.
Her hair's pulled back right
Are
now.
you crazy?
Just having fun. Oh.
Kyle, I think you should just comb yours straight down.
No, I've done that.
I've done it.
It looks like I drive a white van, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When I do that. Yeah. Yeah. Not to say anything bad about white van drivers, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just kind of venting about,
Sure.
that I like almost feel bad now to say I'm white.
Yeah.
Because it's gotten such a negative stereotype.
See, I hope one day we can get to a point where that doesn't even cross your mind. Obviously, you notice that someone's has a better tan than you. I'm just saying that, like, on documents where you have to write your race, get rid of that.
I purposely, when my kids were little, I did not describe people by skin color.
Yes, absolutely.
And it was funny because I've never experienced that before, how someone then describes people.
Right.
So my son, I remember him coming home and he was like, yeah, so-and-so. And I was like, well, which one is that? Because he was talking about someone in his class. And there's so many of them. I didn't know who they were. And he's like, yeah, he's kind of, he's got like, his hair's a little bit darker than mine. He's this tall. Like, he's doing all these descriptions. And he was like, he might be like a little bit more tan than me.
Right.
But, and they had like some friends that were African American. And I don't remember how he was describing them, but he didn't say, oh, that's the, African American or whatever.
He's the black kid.
He was like, yeah, he's got, his skin's like kind of darker than mine, and he's like kind of short, and like, it was just interesting.
But he wasn't tiptoeing either. He was just describing.
But
because that's how he was raised.
Yeah, and both my son and daughter were that way. And so then when they started hearing people say anything that was racist or derogatory, they would kind of look at them confused.
Right.
Because they were like, what?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, you don't need to... I don't know. I don't...
But to me, describing someone by skin color isn't bad. That's like saying they have blonde hair.
Yeah, they have blonde hair. They have blue eyes. They have brown hair. Yeah.
I was raised in South Texas, and I didn't even know I was white until like the 4th grade.
Right. I didn't know what Caucasian meant until I was in high school.
Yeah.
I was like,
but I just did that just because I wanted to teach them to not see that first at that young of an age when their brain is developing.
Good job.
And so, but yeah, my son still gets kind of confused.
That's okay. That's all right.
Because, he thought this one Hispanic kid is his cousin.
Interesting, yeah.
Because they share a mutual cousin. I'm like, y'all are not related.
It's like, that's not how it works.
And he's like, yeah, because we share the same cousin. I'm like, you're really not related.
How does that work? If you share the same cousin? I'm going to have to do some family tree
Our cousin married his cousin, and then they had a kid together.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
The family tree always... I
have a very big family tree.
Yeah, you've mentioned that sometimes. It's so I don't know how you keep up with that. My family tree is pretty straight-laced, as in like it goes down.
My grandma's a twin.
Oh.
And her twin had 4 kids, and my grandma had 3 kids, and then all those kids had kids.
Go. Gotcha.
And we were all raised very close because they were twins.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Well, hey, we're gonna have to go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks for listening with us, by the way, and make sure to catch us on Mixed Mornings every weekday, 6 to 10, and have a good one, yeah?